Hello. This is Connie from Peppercorn Arts. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do something that is quite exciting. I have been working for the stationery selection for perhaps about three odd years now. So over the time, I've accumulated a lot of different type of pens. I get to research, try, play around with them, draw with them, write with them. And I thought that for this month's video, I would like to go through some of those pens that I have received over the years and talk about how I actually utilize them every day. What are my favorites? What what are some of the one that I don't use as much and so, as such. So here we go. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to use test all the pens or go through all the pens with you on my Midori notepad. On the stationery selection, you can get them in a notebook form, but not in this notepad form. But you can buy them from everywhere. But they're the same Andy paper that you can get all the time from the shop. So let's go through all my ballpoint and gel pens first. So I got quite a few, you can see quite a few different gel pens and ballpoint pens over the years from the stationery selection. These are all ballpoint pens that I can so far found in my pencil case, and I'm sure there were more. But yeah, so some of them I really more I love the design. So these three here are all ballpoint pens. Actually, there's four ballpoint pens here that are more sort of design driven. So this is a Delphonic one. That one I remember Mitz selected because she really likes the classic look of the pen. To me, it looks very Art Deco like. Obviously, the Delphonic one is got almost pencil looking like kind of pen. And this is also one selected because it looks like a pencil, and you can see that it's very pretty. And that's my favorite design one. Is the zebra ballpoint pen, which you can open and close, and it will shut the lead in. That's one I carry with me all the time in my in my case that I carry me around the house all the time. In my case because I like it so much. But these three ballpoint pen here are just like a normal ballpoint pens. They do write quite well. That one does work quite well. Actually, I don't know if that is a ballpoint pen. It might, yeah, it is a ball. It might be a gel pen. I'm unsure. That one. See that pen and also this Delphonic one. I never really liked the how to the. I never really like writing with them. But I do like the look of them. So, those are the three ballpoint pen that I have. Oh, actually no, but three ballpoint pens that I have that I really like the look of, but never actually use them as often. This is the ballpoint pen that I use regularly, which is obviously the Mitsubishi Jetstream, the most common pen that you can get. It's comfortable to write with. I use it to write, like, write all the forms and everything. Most time when you fill in form, you have to use a ballpoint pen, or writing letter, like the for the post office. I always signed with this particular pen just because it is reliable, it is smooth, it is fine, so you can write very clearly, and you can your writing is always really smooth. So that's the pen that I most regularly use for any documents that are important, despite I have all these really pretty ballpoints that lying around. But recent favorites are that these are the newer ballpoint pen that I received. They are also just as good. This particular one is really well designed. It's a Sakura what we call it ball sign ID. Is in blue, and I actually think that it might not be a ballpoint. I think that is a gel pen. Yeah, but that is a particularly well designed pen. It writes smoothly. It's nice to hold. It's light. It's elegant looking. I love that particular pen. But this is something that I have received earlier on. This is definitely a ballpoint pen. Earlier on, a couple of years ago, I think it come in three different color. So you have to put together. I remember when it arrives, I had to read the instruction and put it together. It come from like with a orange point as well as black, and also mechanical pencil, I believe, where you can draw with. So it's a free pen in one. It's really I get a lot of free pens, but maybe not one with the mechanical pencil. So this is really unusual. But that's I'm a person who like to use one pen, so I haven't really been using this pen as much. I tends to go for a more one pen person, but for a free pen, this is a really well designed and well efficiently efficient pen to have. So yeah, those are the ballpoints that I own. Let's move on to the gel pen that are my favorite gel pens. So my number one favorite gel pens are the Zebra Sarasa. Especially of the vintage series. I have both the vintage series in the edition one as well as the second one, like the first and the second edition. I have them both. Some of the color I even have double because I love them so much. I personally find them write really smoothly, and the color is nicely muted. It come with the like other color as well. They are all blue, red, green, or whatever color it comes in, but they all sort of in a muted tone and sort of have a black tinge to it. So I really like the Sarasa, and it writes smoothly too. So I use it every single day for work. Not for the signing document though, because it does smudge on certain paper, and also when water hits it especially, it does smudge with gel pen. So I often only use it I do use it for work because I like how black it is. I do draw with it sometimes. I use it in my Hobonichi. They are great pen because you can see what you're writing clearly, like writing notes and stuff. But like I said, I avoid using gel pen for anything that is important. The new Sarasa that arrives is the copper that we received in previous box. That new Sarasa, this new Sarasa can actually write on black paper very clearly. Once again, I don't know where my black paper gone again. I keep losing my stuff. I don't know where I put things. I got it here. So with the new Sarasa, you can write clearly on a black memo, like black paper, and it does come in like I think like 10 or 12 colors, which I'm really excited about. I think I might be getting them a few more colors, but they write just as well as the normal Sarasa, and so I'm really excited about this. I don't personally own any Sarasa in the regular line, only the vintage line. I don't see a reason why I need to get the regular one, just because I love the vintage line so much, so I stick to that. The other two gel pens I really love that I received over the years are these two. The first one is the Stationery gel pen. I love the look of this pen. It's metal. It has metal section as well as the rubber section, and it's really long, non-gripped, like really well. You can hold it really well, and it won't slip out of your hand. It have really good weight. It's quite heavy, not like a light pen, and it write beautifully. Like one of the blackest gel pen that you can get, and I use it quite a bit for writing notes and everything. I love this Stationery gel pen a lot, and I think that it might be James from our design team who actually found this particular pen and then mix sourced it. So yeah, it bring back a little bit of memory from the thought what's happening a few years ago. when we were like madly looking at pens. Another pens that I think it might have been Henry and I saw this pen online and we both loved it, and Mitz also sourced it. It's a Kako gel pen, and it's completely sealed in this white sort of matte soft surface. Like you can't even see any. It's seamless. The only part that opens is the top, which is really unusual. um and even the lead the refill itself is white, and the only thing you can see is Kako on the model number on the things in the inside, and it's even that it's like engraving, you can't even read it. Everything is in white. If there is like another 2001 Space Odyssey, this is the pen that they should really have in the movie. But this pen write beautifully. You can see it is quite black, even blacker, more blacker is not even a word, even more black than the Stalogy gel pen, and write smoothly as well. So I really, really love these two gel pen. I hope that in the past you can buy these refills from the Stationery Selection, and I just look on the website. I'm not sure if it's still there anymore, but otherwise I think Amazon will be your best friend to find the refills for them. Okay, that's my ballpoint pen and gel pen collection. Let's move on to the next section that I want to talk about. The brush pens and sign pens. So I think I'm gonna start with the sign pen. Sign pen is a little bit of an interesting, I guess, an interesting category of pen. Like, this is not the sign pen, sorry, I put this on the wrong spot. Interesting kind of category, because you kind of can't write with it every single day. Like, you can't write notes with it because it's too thick, like it's too fat for to writing notes. So it's mainly you'll use it for heading. But the idea about a sign pen is it is for heading, it is for sign writing. So it is definitely something that you want to write a lettering that is more bold. That's when you use it. So the sign pen that we received this month is from the July box, which is what I'm here for. From Palette. It comes with this elegant looking shell with four refills for this particular pen, and I think Mitz is actually experimenting with emptying on the ink and fill it in with her own ink to experiment with it. I think it's a great idea, and it's a very good looking sign pen. With sign pen, what I usually use it for is that I use it for writing headings, with a sign pen, because it is so you can see, look closer, because it has a really hard bullet top, like nib, sorry. It has a very consistent thickness, so it's like so when you write a heading, you have very consistent thickness of lines. So just say that I'm writing a you'll be able to do really bold lettering like this quite easily. Whereas with other pen, I'll just mark that one up. But with if you try to do this with other thinner pen or fine liner or brush pen, you won't get that consistent line that a sign pen would give you. So I guess that's what a sign pen's for. Giving you that consistent boldness of the line. I'm marking everything up. So if you are after something that is consistent, a sign pen is the job for you to do. So for example, something like this, a heading, a sign, maybe a box for writing, like a speech box or a heading box or whatever you want to do. This is the pen to use. So because I think that this is a sign pen is something I'm definitely not utilize as much in my everyday um, usage application, I guess, but it is definitely have its place in the in my pencil case, especially for headings like not brush heading. Another sign pen that have came across that we have used, this is Z Clean dot colors. Now you said, isn't it the dot pen? It is the dot pen. So that is the metallic version that was sent to us earlier on last year. I think late last year. It come with a dot ends as well as a bullet point. That is a one millimeter bullet point, which is exactly the same as this particular sign pen here. When you write it, you can see that again, very consistent line that you can draw. It also create the dots like I showed you before, but also you can use the dot side to do design as signage as well. So something that is much bigger, really bold sign, you can use that dot side to do it. I never actually use these that often, but I use it for dots a lot because I got the full set of the color one. But I never really use it as a sign pen as such for headings because I have no need for it. But now I tested out, that look actually really cool, and I might try to find a way of using it, incorporate some of this bigger lettering in my journal. Another sign pen was a pen that suggested by Mitt's husband. That was a really, I think it was a very economical pen, that something that he used since when he was growing up. That is another like a cheap sign pen, but it worked very similarly. I really like the color of this, and I use that sometimes in writing smaller things, but it's very, very, very similar to similar to that. And similar to a pen I'm going to move on to, which is the Zebra Click Art, which I love. I have lots of colors, but this is the color I think that came in one of the box earlier on last year. Like similar to all the other sign pen, it has a 0.6 millimeter lead. 0.6 millimeter nib, and it is a a marker, but it hasn't got a lead, and it has technology that's to stop. Is an ink technology that they invent, that it doesn't dry up even though it hasn't got a lead. So with that, you can use it like a markers. I use it a lot to just write heading in my Hobonichi. So, but it's very, very consistent line, similar to a sign pen. So I do use that to do like bubble lettering a lot. I'm actually terrible at bubble lettering, so don't laugh at me there, please. Not very good at it at all. Some of you can do it much better than I do. So yeah, I use that Click Art pens a lot because I also use it for decoration as well. Like, during this sort of things like a marker, it come in beautiful range of colors. So yeah, that's what I use that for, and I use it quite a bit. And let's move on to similar pen to Click Art, the Mitsubishi Uni emote. It comes in a set of lots of colors. I think like 40 colors, I think. I can't remember. But this pen was included in one of the art box early on, maybe last year, maybe. It's much finer than the Click Art, is 0.4, and it's more closer to a fine liner. But you can do a lot of things with it. I haven't been using it a lot lately, but I might, because good thing about this particular emote is that it is waterproof, meaning that you can actually draw something and then fill in watercolor if you want to. So so it's really quite handy to have, and they come in lots of colors as well. So that's the Emalt, Uni Emalt. I love that pen a lot, and also the colors are great. Yeah, with this particular one, like I said, let's just get some watercolor out. I have got a watercolor here. Yes. So if you get some water, sorry about my paint palettes. My paint palette's always a mess. I never really cleaned it. You can see that it doesn't actually smudge. Oh, I just realized that the click art doesn't smudge neither. So they are both pretty good with watercolor. So just keep that in mind when you're thinking about using some of these pens. Okay, let's move on to the next section, which is the brush pens. So I have 3 brush pens with me here today. These are not the common brush pens that most people use. Most people will have used the Pentel Touch pen or the Tombow Fudenosuke brush pens. I think with the stationery selection, we don't like to include things that people normally buy or use. We like to experiment and explore new products. So these are 3. I can't take credit for this, but yeah, but I believe that Meets has spent a lot of time looking for new product to include in the box. So thank you so much, Meets. Yeah, so these are 3 brush pens. 2 of them I use a lot. One of them I haven't actually have a chance of using it a lot, just because I love the other 2 so much. So let's just go with something that I don't normally use. This is Koritake brush pens. It actually sent to us in 2 different color in the past, and the same color but the same size. I think one is the Sakura edition, and this one is just normal edition. It's a fine edition. So Kuretake take I probably spell it wrong, but it has a really nice smooth. With those of you who do lettering, what a sign pen, like a brush pen, could do for you. It has a really nice brush, and Kuretake have a really nice brush tip on this, so you can control it quite well. It has quite it's quite hard in terms of the body, and a sort of soft ending, so you can do your upstroke quite finely and then downstroke thicker. So it got very good control. I don't use as much because it is just a little bit too big for Hobonichi Techo, because I use a small size. And it's a very big pen. I don't carry big pens around because I use a small pencil case. But I quite like the way that it turns out for headings, so I might go back into using it later on. Another brush pens I use a lot is these 2. This is also a Kuretake brush pen, size 14. I love it so much that I even asked Mitz to find me a new one, a second one. She got me another one of the same. It came in a few. It's a hard pen, a size 14, but I don't know if it is actually hard, because the reason why I love it so much is because I found it extra soft. So when you write on paper, you can almost use it to take note. And it's so good that it's almost like a subheading. I use that a lot, and it got this like almost script writing like font. So I love this pen a lot because of the softest brush nib, and I don't know. I own a lot of brush pen, and none of them has the same movement as this particular pen. So this is my must-have pen in my pencil case because of that quality. Another last brush pen that I want to talk about, well, this is actually not the last one, but in this category, is the Shikiori brush pens. It come in a set of 20. I think you can buy them from the Stationery Selection web shop. It has it's actually the Shikiori ink collection from Sailor, and they put it into a brush pens set. It come in both a really fine nib as well as the brush nib. I don't use it for writing a lot, but I use it to actually do a lot of illustration within my Hobonichi. So, but you can see that it got a really nice. I really love the color. So this is. It has a very thick brush nib, so you have to write quite. You can write quite large. You'll write quite large, and the small nib side, which I never actually use, is really tiny. So you can use it for actually note taking. Yeah. So yeah. But like I said, I use these brush pens a lot for drawing and fill in colors within my Hobonichi. I don't actually use it as a pen as such as for writing. But that's a good lead on to our next session, because it's my art making utensils. So those are all my writing stuff, and these are starting to go. I'm going through my art making pens and pencils. So I'm gonna go with pencil first. With the pencil, I'm going to show you a few of my personal collection, as well as the one that I received from the Stationery Selection. Actually, this month is July is the watercolor month, and that's one of the reasons why I want to go through some of the drawing and painting stuff as well. So, over the years, we have received quite a few mechanical pencils. These are two of the one that most recent one that we have, maybe this year. Maybe actually that's from last year, but they're most interesting. They're both from Kokuyo. One of them is a 0.5 lead, and the other one is 1.3 lead. The 0.5 lead one is I think it's from last month box, from June box. It's a very minimalistic looking mechanical pencil that almost look like an actual pencil itself. And the interesting part of this particular pencil is the metal section is actually look very much pencil like. So it's it really designed to be a sketch pencil rather than a technical pencil, which mechanical pencil are designed for, which is very unusual. It also has no you can just drop the lead in there, and then it will go and start you can start drawing with it. So it's a really responsive kind of pencil, and you can draw really. It's very pencil-like pencil. So you can see that I have I feel very comfortable in using it to draw. The second mechanical pencil I want to show you is the Anpitsu Sharp by Kokuyo. Sorry, he's got all these dog hairs on it. It's also by Kokuyo. But the interesting part of this mechanical pencil is the really 1.3 thickness lead. So it's again designed to be an art pencil. It hasn't got the interesting metal section, but it has a very thick lead, which means that you can do a lot of shading with this particular pencil. Is definitely a much darker lead that it come in. So it's maybe a 2B, even 4B lead. Because it is in a hexagon shape, the lead is in a hexagon shape, it allows you to do a lot of shading with this particular pencil. You can see that I am able to immediately go into my drawing that I did early on and immediately do some tonal work with it right away. I haven't actually used this pencil before, and it's interesting that I'm able to just crack it out of the box and then can use it right away without actually blunting the lead, because that's what you do when you have a pencil. Um, yeah, so this pen, I think I might be adding this. I'm really loving what what I'm using right now, and I'm definitely going to add this into my permanent uh, permanent pencil in my pencil case. Yeah. Also, another interesting things with this particular mechanical pencil is the top. You turn it, it actually there's a eraser on the top. How cool is it? And yeah, Kakuyo always have the most amazing innovative design, and this is a really well designed mechanical pencil for any drawer. Yeah. So I'm going to put this down. I'm gonna go through the rest of the pencil collection. So I personally use sometimes instead of using a mechanical pencil, I like to use the Blackwing pencil. This is one of the Blackwing pencil I use. Again, I like that feel of a pencil when I draw, and I feel very comfortable. Sometimes, especially when I do a lot of illustration work, I will use a pencil rather than a mechanical pencil, just because I like the feel of a pencil rather than a mechanical pencil. So yeah, just thought I will put one of my personal favorite in. So the Blackwing pencil is definitely something I use all the time. And being when you do illustration, it's also very handy to have especially when I do illustration with watercolor. It's very important that you have a color pencil, because color pencil allow you to do things in layers. I like this pencil that I received, I think last year or the year before, that has two colors on either end. Like one side is the vermilion and the other is the Prussian blue. Those are the two colors that Illustrator use a lot in terms of doing the layers. So just say that I'm doing the strawberry, I will do the body in the red, and I might want to do the leaves as well, but the leaf is like in green, so I'm going to turn my pencil around, and I will draw that in that section. You can see it really clearly. You can even draw things that are behind it, and you won't be you will be able to see where things sit, so you won't be um it won't be obscure of what you're doing basically. And because it's pen is not pencil, when you rub off your pencil mark, it doesn't go away. So when I do illustration work, I use a lot of actual color pencil to actually doing my final draft. Brown pencil, it's also something, this is a burnt umber. It's also a pencil that I use a lot when I do my watercolor work, because what it does is it allow you to just highlight the line that you want to keep. Sometimes it depends on what type of finish I want. This is a crayon pencil, which is got a little bit of a wax in it, and when you rub it off, you will only see certain lines, so it gives you a very different effect when you fill in your color, and you'll be able to do work that have more interesting line work rather than a simple watercolor painting. So those are the pencil that I use for my for drafting my illustration drawing. And I want to mention the eraser I use also when I'm drafting. These are the three type of eraser I use. This is the one that I use. You can see that over the years, just a normal eraser. I think it is from one of the Stationery Selection box. I think it's just a normal eraser. It's anything special, but it's very good over the years. I've used it all this time. This is a new one that I received from last month, I believe. It has the angle on it. I think it's Kukuyo. I'm pretty sure it was a Kukuyo product. Maybe not. But it has the angle on it, which is handy when you actually want to rub out just a really fine detail. The only part that I really don't like are the lead that come with it, I might just ditch it, to be honest with you, because I find it really quite annoying that I have to keep finding this lead and close things up. I know the Japanese like things to be neat, but that is a limit. I really don't like that lead terribly much because I just worry about losing it. I might as well lose in the first place. Another one I use is this Tombow eraser that is really super small, that allow me to rub off really small things in small places. This is on it's my personal eraser that for rubbing out these my own personal collection. It's not from the Stationery Selection, but if you're interested in finding a really small eraser pen, this is the one that I use. I didn't go out of my way to find it, and I think that I found it in an art shop somewhere, on the sale box somewhere. Yeah, so yeah, that's what I use. Let's move on to the ink pen that I use. So these are the ink pen that I use mostly. Now let's go with the fine liners. So fine liners, I always think is important that you choose my criteria for fine liner that it has to be waterproof, because I use a lot of watercolor with my illustration. So if it's not waterproof, it's literally no point to them. So that one is one of the uni pin waterproof, fade proof fine liners from one of the box, but you can definitely get a micron will do the job. But yeah, fine liners definitely something that I use for, but definitely have to be waterproof. You can see that that's no problem, no fading or anything like that. Second pen that I use a lot for illustration is the Pentel Pocket Brush Pen. Now this is in my personal collection. It's not sold in the Stationery Selection box, but you can find it everywhere. It's in most art shop. You should be able to find it online. It's a Pentel Pocket Brush Pen. Don't get it mixed up with the Pentel Touch Pen. It's not the same thing. The Pentel Touch Pen won't be waterproof. It's actually it's not water resistant at all. It will just smudge and faded and dissolve in water. Whereas this one, the Pentel Pocket Brush Pen, it has very nice line dynamics. Something that I have used for many years now, since my best friend Jan has suggested to me. Really beautiful line dynamic. It's a really beautiful brush pen to use for drawing. It also can draw like lines like hairline really well, because it got the line quality that you can actually achieve using that brush, really fine brush to a thick brush kind of effect. I'm not sure if this is dry yet, but I'm very confident that it won't fade in water. But sometimes it might need drying a little bit, depends on the water the paper type. But you can see that yeah, it has no problem with watercolor. I'm going to just go over it with the watercolor so you can see. Okay, so the next, these are both waterproof pen, fine liner and brush pens. And the third pen I want to show you is actually my Pilot Kakuno that I received last year. That is basically a refillable fountain pen. I don't think that's a fountain pen that is available on the Stationery Selection at the moment. That is the Kakuno. I think you can buy others, but you can do the same thing. So what I did is I filled it up with the platinum carbon black ink, and I use it to draw. And I've been obsessed with drawing with fountain pens since I've got this ink. I should have done it much earlier, and I haven't been. and I don't know why. Until now, I really am fell in love with drawing with fountain pen. I've been drawing strawberry a lot. Sorry, I'm using strawberry because I'm at the moment obsessed with drawing strawberry because I'm doing a project with it. Oops, I shouldn't have told anyone about the project. So you can see that it create really interesting line. It make your hand to hold the pen very differently. It make you to it inspire you to create different type of line and shape in comparison to something like a fine liner. The line work are just completely different. So I really enjoy drawing with a fountain pen. With the platinum carbon black ink, you can also paint it with watercolor, no problem. It doesn't smudge at all. Again, depends on paper type. You always, it's a good idea to let it dry for a bit before you actually start, but with the empty paper, there's no problem at all. Okay, so those are 3 pen. Now I want to take note or mention one thing. This is the carbon black, platinum carbon black uh fountain pen that came in the box early on in the year. I remember using it and thinking that it's going to be the same as the carbon black ink that we receive in the bottle. It's not. It is definitely not waterproof in comparison to that. I'm not. I'm just doing this as a test now, just to show you the difference between them. So the one that come in the box doesn't actually is not actually waterproof. It will smudge, and I don't know what's going on with platinum. They didn't actually use the same ink in both this pen and the ink. So keep that in mind. This is more of a writing pen rather than drawing pen. I mean, you can draw with it too, but you can't watercolor add watercolor to your drawing. Okay, so finally we get to the last section of the interesting pen. I have got some art pen here. So this is the Pentel art brush. The Pentel art brush is similar to Pentel pocket brush pen, except it's not waterproof, but it does give you really nice interesting line that you can create really great ink drawing with it. And I think that this will be something that will very very nice for Inktober later on. I personally don't. I'm not very confident with using ink on its own, so it's definitely something that I need to work on. But it's having beautiful lines and markings with this particular brush pen, so keep that in mind when you're using it. And the least but not last, are the Kikuyo pasta pen. Now this is by far probably the most interesting pen I've owned, and I love them. It is crayon pastel, like a crayon gel pen. Now this is my personal collection that Mit's got for me in fluorescent pink. I use them as highlighter over for work, but also it is a great one for your journal for creating artwork, and also much more much more arty kind of illustration. I have always had planned to use it with a lot of pencil work and markers, and I have used it to do more like a painterly type work with in the past. It is acting more like oil pastel and crayon, so keep that in mind, but they're a great highlighter for any fountain pen user, because my liner sometimes doesn't work very well with fountain pen, but this Kikuyo pasta of great highlighter for fountain pens. So yeah, so acting as an art pen but also a highlighter. Great pens. Anyway, so here we go. These are all my pen review for this month. I hope you enjoyed this review. And if you do have any question about any pen, please leave me a comment, and I will try to reply to you as well as I can. And if you're interested in any of those pen, do like I said, do leave a note, leave a comment, and I will see if I can actually look it up for you. And thank you for joining me today. And I wish you a very good month. I'll see you next time. Bye.